Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how you can still feel lonely after doing everything perfectly at writing, but you can still have this kind of a feeling where you're very where you feel like isolated, and that's like a very normal feeling that writers feel. And so yeah, that's just what I want to talk about today, because right now I'm like writing my book, and the last time I did a video, I said that I was probably around like 7,000 words, and right now I'm like at 20,000. That's kind of crazy if you think about it, because it's just been 1 week. But it just shows that I'm like really loving the story, and I come back to it every single day and write, and I'm also learning through it. So sometimes you just feel like you're doing everything correct. You're writing and but there are like some days where the idea of the whole book hits you very hard. You're like kind of writing, and like in the middle of it you kind of realize something very deep for your characters or for your plot, and you just want to get up and like tell somebody because you're very excited, but there's like you realize that there's like nobody really. And I've like tried it, I've been like experiencing this where I'm in the middle of like my story, and it's like getting very, very interesting. So there are like sometimes where I just get up from my seat, like realizing something about like the plot or the characters, and I'm like so excited and I want to tell somebody. But the moment I go up and tell my family about it, they're very normal with it, and you feel like, yeah, they don't understand, or they're not interested, but it's actually very normal because they don't know the things that you know about your story. So it is very normal feeling that you feel with it. That doesn't mean that they don't like you, or it's not like a, how do I really explain it, but like it's just, the story because you know it, like the story in a deeper level because you are writing it. So you cannot really blame them for not liking the story or for not really understanding your excitement, because they're not like sitting next to you while you're writing, and they don't really know everything. So yeah, that's just how it sometimes is with writing, and you feel like, okay, nobody really understands. It's a very lonely thing to do. Like writing is a very lonely thing, and you're like with yourself most of the time, all the time, and you're like writing. But it's just so exciting to think that you're creating something that's going to be there when you're not alive anymore, if that makes any sense. Because you're writing for the purpose of just writing. Now, one of the questions that I got recently from one of my family members was, what is the purpose of you writing? So, like, why do you write? Not really why do you write, it was just mostly what is in your mind while writing. So I thought about it for a second, like literally, and the only thing that came into my mind was just writing. Like the only thing that I think about while writing is writing. There's nothing else going on, and there's not really anybody, or you know, like I'm not really writing for someone, and I'm also not writing for a clear purpose. I think the only thing that I'm thinking about while writing is writing, because I just like it, and I think that's the best answer to your. You don't really have to write because of a reason. You can just write because of the fact that you love writing, and that's a very beautiful thing, I think, because it's just you're creating something that will be after you, will be there after you die, and it's going to be there. It's just such a beautiful thing that we're doing here with writing, and every time I think about it, it just gives me so many new reasons to come to it and write every single day. And like right now, like my book has the vibes of, not really the vibes, but just like the themes of kind of movies like Memories of Murder, or like Seven, or Zodiac, or and it's just, I really love all of those movies. Like Memories of Murder is kind of like my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and it just, I think I had taken a lot of inspiration from it as well. I listened to the soundtrack, not really the soundtrack, but just like the instrumental music from the movie. Like the last scene kind of gives me the reason why I love, like the last scene of the movie is just so good. And I mean, the vibe is kind of like, if a book or if a movie gives you like inspiration and you really like the vibe of it, then take it. I'm not really saying it in a like in a way where you are gonna snatch it, like snatch the whole idea. I'm just saying that if it gives you motivation, not really motivation, just like a good vibe to come to it every single day and write, then it's a very good thing to just, like, movies and books are like a good way to inspire yourself. And I do it a lot, you know. I watch a lot of movies, I read a lot of books, and they inspire me to write. I don't steal anything, but just take inspiration in a way where you can really connect those vibes of your book with like another book or a movie that you like. And it's just a very easier way to kind of connect with your book in a deeper level. And you can also use music, for example. Like I use movie instrumental musics to just get into that vibe and just start writing without thinking much and without needing too much preparation. So there are some other writers who just, you know, go to places like libraries to concentrate or like do other things. Or there are some people who just, you know, drink something that they like, or drink something that gives them that kind of like vibe, you know. And you can always do those things. So it's like, you know, it's like endless things that you can do to get the vibe. But we're not really going to talk about the vibe today. We're just going to focus on the fact of how you can still feel like how writing is such a lonely thing. You can use so many pictures in the internet or at Pinterest that can get you into the vibe, you know, of just writing, and just from your characters and the places that they live in. And it's just such a smart way to get into that mind. You can do like a Miro visualizer where you have all of the music that you need, all of the pictures and all of the music, all of the movie posters or scenes, and you just click on that and you go on Spotify and click on, and just, you know, it will get you into that vibe. So yeah, like I have 3 tabs open whenever I'm writing. One is, of course, Docs, my book, and the other one is Spotify, where I'm like listening to music, and third is Miro, where I'm having my visualizer open for me all the time so that I don't really have to, you know, search for it. So yeah, that's how I write. It's very, very interesting because some people write because they feel less lonely and forget about the world or some, you know, those kind of stuff. But for the other ones, it's just they feel lonely because they don't really have anybody to share their thoughts and their excitement or their feelings with while writing. So it can be both, okay? But it just it's just, yeah, like, do you know? Like, I don't really know. For me, it's mostly the fact that no one's really there to listen to my ideas. But I don't really blame anybody, of course. It's just sometimes you really need somebody to listen to your ideas, which, you know, I can just come here and like do a video and tell all of you guys. But yeah, like, I want to ask some of the questions that came into my mind this whole like past week was, if I, like, there are moments where I'm like writing, you know, and I'm just so into it, and then suddenly a realization comes into my mind, and I'm like frozen, okay? So I'm like frozen, and it's just like sometimes I'm so fascinated by the fact of the human mind. How can we think so much, so deeply, and how can we like get all of these ideas out? It's just, I think the weirdest ideas or the best ideas that I ever got was during the time where I was just sitting and writing. So most people say it comes from like in at like shower or like or just like going out or like doing the weirdest things. But for me, it was just when I was writing, and I don't think it's something bad. I think it's something good because then I had the time to just sit down and write it down before the ideas vanished. So I think one of the reasons why writing is hard is it is because of the fact that we have to write the music, we have to write the weather, we have to write the scenario, we have to write the cinematography in the like movies. We have to write everything, even the expressions. It just we have to write all of it with words. And at movies we can like you can show it. So that's just how writing can be. You know, most of the times, like maybe not maybe, but just a lot of writers just like outline their whole plot. Like most of the times that I'm writing, I'm like improvising. You know, I don't know anything when I'm sitting down and about to write. I just most of the times improvise while writing, and I think that's where I get the best ideas out because it comes from my gut feeling, and gut feelings are, I think, the best thing because and most of the times correct. So I just don't really know how to explain it, but writing from your gut feeling is the best thing. I don't even know if I've like told you guys a story of the time where we had to take like a not really like a test, but it was just kind of a warm up that we had to do, and it was just that we had like I think 1 minute to write like the teacher wrote like 3 words on the board, and we had 1 minute to make a whole like sentence about it. I think not even like 1 minute, it was like 30 seconds. So we just wrote out of our guts. And then we got another 3 words, and we had 5 minutes to write a sentence about it. And then we compared these two. Oh yeah, it wasn't like that. It was like we got the same 3 words for the second one as well. And you know what we realized? The first one was better because we wrote out of our gut feeling, and the second one we just thought about so much, so it was not really something that was good. That's why I think it was a very good like warm up for writing, and it helped me a lot to know that sometimes writing out of your gut feeling is the best thing. Not sometimes, but all the time. So most of the times when I write, I just open the tab and just write without like thinking about the grammar mistakes or the spell mistakes or anything. And I don't really have anything else to talk about. But yeah, I just want to say that feeling lonely sometimes is very normal, and like as a writer or like as a human being, because you can like really use it for your book. And so thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.